Welcome to the lands of science fiction stories. I wish you a pleasant listening. In the vast circular chamber of the Galactic Council, the air was thick with tension. The room was filled with representatives from various advanced civilizations, their forms ranging from the aquatic Allurian with their translucent skin to the towering and heavily armored Brakari. At the center of the room stood the Council's chairman, Commander Kra, a stern figure with ridges lining his head, his eyes deep-set and unforgiving. "Humans are afraid of war," Kra declared, his voice echoing through the hall. The other members nodded in agreement. For millennia, they have hidden behind their advanced technologies and vast economic resources, but they lack the backbone for real conflict. The room was abuzz with agreement. Despite humanity's rapid technological advancements and their expansion across the stars, the Terran Empire had never engaged in significant warfare. Instead, they had used their diplomatic skills and trade negotiations to maintain peace, earning them little respect in the eyes of the warlike species of the galaxy. "We cannot rely on them to face the Krogan threat," said Zira, a reptilian counselor with scales that shimmered in the artificial light. "Their pacifism will be our downfall." The Krogan were a ruthless, conquering race, known for their brutality and relentless pursuit of power. Their ships had already destroyed several outlying colonies, and their armadas were approaching the heart of the galaxy. "We must issue an ultimatum," Kra announced, his voice decisive. "Either the Terrans join the fight, or we will dismantle their empire. Their technology and resources would be better used by those willing to fight." A murmur of agreement swept through the chamber. The decision was made. The ultimatum would be sent, and humanity would be forced to choose, fight or face the consequences. Back on Earth, within the gleaming spires of the Terran Empire's capital, the message from the Galactic Council was received. High Admiral Marcus Reeve, a stoic figure with silver hair and piercing blue eyes, read the ultimatum with a calm expression. "It seems our peaceful approach has been mistaken for weakness," Reeve said, his voice steady as he addressed the Council of Human Leaders. The room was filled with the most influential people from Earth and its colonies, each one a master of their field, whether it be technology, economics, or politics. They had long maintained that peace was the best path forward, avoiding the brutal wars that had plagued humanity in the past. "Do we have a choice?" asked Leora, the head of the Terran Diplomatic Corps. "If we refuse, they will turn against us. If we fight, we risk everything we have built." Admiral Reeve's eyes were cold as he surveyed the room. "We do have a choice," he replied. "We will fight, but not on their terms. We have been preparing for this moment for a long time. Our peaceful facade has served us well, but now it's time to show our true strength." The leaders around the table exchanged glances, some surprised, others relieved. Reeve had been advocating for a stronger military presence for years, foreseeing the day when humanity would need to defend itself. "Our fleet is ready," Reeve continued. "We have the technology, the resources, and the strategy to not only defend ourselves but to dominate the battlefield. The Council will not see us coming." A message was sent back to the Galactic Council, simple and chilling. "We accept. Prepare." In the following weeks, the Terran Empire's fleet assembled. Unlike the sleek, elegant ships of other species, the Terran vessels were utilitarian, designed for functionality and power. Massive carriers, bristling with weaponry, and agile fighters capable of precise strikes formed the core of the fleet. Admiral Reeve stood on the bridge of the *TSV Vanguard *, the flagship of the fleet. He watched as the ships gathered, each one a testament to human ingenuity and determination. The time for diplomacy was over. Now was the time for action. The fleet moved through space with silent precision, heading towards the designated meeting point with the Galactic Council's forces. The plan was simple: join forces, face the Krogan threat, and then, if necessary, turn their attention to the Galactic Council. "We've been underestimated," Reeve said to his second-in-command, Commander Talia Ward, "but that will be their downfall." Ward nodded, her eyes fixed on the view screen. "The Council thinks they can control us. They have no idea what we're capable of." The Terran fleet arrived at the meeting point. and the sight of the assembled council fleet did little to impress Reeve. He could see the uncertainty in the eyes of the alien commanders as they looked at the Terran ships. "Signal the council," Reeve ordered. "Let them know we are ready." The Krogan fleet appeared on the horizon, a dark mass of ships moving like a swarm of locusts. They outnumbered the combined Terran and council forces, but Admiral Reeve was undeterred. "All ships, prepare for battle," he ordered. "We will show them what it means to underestimate humanity." The Terran fleet moved into formation, their movements precise and coordinated. As the Krogan closed in, the first shots were fired and the battle began. The Terran ships unleashed a barrage of firepower, their weapons cutting through the Krogan defenses with deadly accuracy. The Council forces, inspired by the Terrans' resolve, joined the fight, but it was clear who was leading the battle. Admiral Reeve watched as the Krogan ships faltered, their formations breaking under the relentless assault. The Terran fleet was like a well-oiled machine, each ship playing its part to perfection. The Krogan, known for their brute strength and overwhelming numbers, were unprepared for the precision and efficiency of the Terran forces. One by one, their ships were destroyed, their lines shattered. In the command center of the Galactic Council's flagship, Commander Kra watched in awe as the Terran fleet dominated the battlefield. He had expected humanity to be a liability, but they had proven to be their greatest asset. "Contact Admiral Reeve," Kra ordered. "We need to speak." The battle was over, the Krogan fleet reduced to debris floating in space. The Terran fleet, largely unscathed, regrouped, ready for the next move. Admiral Reeve stood on the bridge of the *TSV Vanguard *, his expression calm and confident. He knew the Council would be reeling from the revelation of humanity's true strength. A communication request came through from the Galactic Council. Reeve nodded to Ward, who accepted the call. Commander Kra's face appeared on the view screen, his expression a mixture of respect and fear. "Admiral Reeve, the Council wishes to express its gratitude for your assistance in this battle," Kra began, his tone diplomatic. "But," Reeve prompted, sensing there was more. Kra hesitated. "We would like to discuss the future of our alliance. The Council recognizes the strength of the Terran Empire and wishes to propose a unified command structure under your leadership." Reeve's eyes narrowed. "You want us to lead the Council?" he asked, his voice even. Kra nodded. "It is clear that humanity possesses the strength and capability that the Council lacks. Together, we can ensure the safety and stability of the galaxy." Reeve considered this. The Terran Empire had always maintained its independence, but the events of the past few days had shown that the galaxy was a dangerous place, and alliances were necessary. "We will discuss this," Reeve said finally. "But know this, Commander Kra. The Terran Empire will not be controlled. We will be partners, or we will be adversaries." Kra nodded, understanding the implication. "Of course, Admiral Reeve. We will await your decision." The Terran Empire's capital was abuzz with activity as the news of the Krogan defeat spread. Humanity had not only proven its strength, but had positioned itself as a dominant force in the galaxy. Admiral Reeve and the leaders of the Terran Empire gathered to discuss their next move. The Council had extended an olive branch, but Reeve knew that trust was not easily earned. "We have shown our strength," Reeve said, addressing the gathered leaders. "Now we must decide how we will use it. The Council wants an alliance, but we must be cautious. Our goal is the safety and prosperity of humanity, and we will not be swayed from that path." The room was filled with nods of agreement. The Terran Empire had always put its people first, and that would not change. "We will negotiate with the Council," Reev continued, "but we will do so on our terms. Humanity is no longer a passive player in this galaxy. We are a force to be reckoned with, and we will shape the future." As the leaders began to discuss the details of the negotiations, Reeve allowed himself a small smile. The galaxy had underestimated humanity, but that would never happen again. In the vast reaches of space, the Terran fleet stood as a symbol of humanity's strength and determination. The dawn of a new era had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. The vast chamber of the Galactic Council was quieter than usual. the usual hum of alien diplomats replaced by a tense silence. All eyes were on the central dais where Admiral Marcus Reeve stood, his presence a stark contrast to the alien figures around him. Beside him were several Terran officials, each representing different aspects of humanity's vast and diverse empire. Commander Kra, representing the Galactic Council, spoke first, his voice carrying the weight of recent events. "Admiral Reeve, on behalf of the Galactic Council, we extend our gratitude for your decisive action against the Krogan. Your intervention saved countless lives." Reeve nodded but remained silent, his expression unreadable. The Council had called this meeting and he intended to let them lead the discussion. Kra continued, choosing his words carefully. "It is clear that the Terran Empire possesses a military might that surpasses our expectations. We have underestimated your capabilities, and for that we apologize. We seek a partnership, one where humanity's strength can lead the way to a stable and prosperous galaxy." Reeve finally spoke, his voice calm but firm. "You seek a partnership because you have no choice, Commander Kra. The Krogan threat has been neutralized, but new threats will always emerge. You want the Terran Empire's protection, but we will not be used as mere tools of war." Kra nodded, accepting the bluntness of Reeve's words. "We propose a unified command, with the Terran Empire at its head. In return, the Council will offer its resources, knowledge, and support. Together we can ensure the security of all our worlds." Reeve glanced at his advisors, each one nodding in agreement. The offer was tempting. Control of the Council would give humanity access to technologies and knowledge from across the galaxy, but Reeve knew that true power came not from dominance, but from mutual respect and cooperation. "Very well," Reeve said finally. "We will consider your proposal, but know this. The Terran Empire will not be a pawn in the Council's games. We will lead with strength, but also with justice. The days of the Council's unchecked power are over." The tension in the room eased slightly as Kra nodded. "Agreed, Admiral Reeve. A new era begins, one where we stand together as equals." Reeve turned to leave, his mind already working on the strategies needed to solidify this new alliance. The future was uncertain, but for the first time humanity held the reins of its own destiny. While the agreement between the Terran Empire and the Galactic Council was celebrated in many corners of the galaxy, not everyone was pleased with this new order. In the shadowy recesses of the Council's chambers, dissent was brewing. Councilor Zira, one of the staunchest opponents of humanity's rise to power, met with a group of like-minded representatives. "This cannot stand," she hissed, her reptilian eyes flashing with anger. "The Terrans will dominate us, turn us into their vassals." A murmur of agreement swept through the group. "We have grown too dependent on their strength," said Ralnor, a thin, insectoid alien with delicate wings. "The balance of power has shifted, and we must act before it's too late." Zira nodded. "We must undermine their influence, show the galaxy that humanity is not invincible. There are others who share our concerns, powerful factions who would support our cause." Ralnor leaned in, his voice low. "What do you propose?" "We sow seeds of discord," Zira replied. "We create situations where the Terrans are forced to act against their own principles, show them as the aggressors. We will turn the galaxy against them, make them the enemy." The group exchanged knowing glances, a silent agreement passing between them. The path they chose was dangerous, but they believed it was necessary to preserve the balance of power. As they dispersed, Zira's mind was already racing with plans. Humanity had shown its strength, but it had also shown its vulnerability. The galaxy was a complex web of alliances and rivalries, and Zira intended to use that complexity to her advantage. Back on Earth, in the sprawling command center of the Terran Empire, Admiral Reeve was deep in discussion with his advisors. Reports were coming in from across the galaxy, each one detailing the growing unrest among certain factions within the Council. "Seems our victory over the Krogan has made us as many enemies as allies," Commander Talia Ward remarked, her eyes scanning the reports. Reeve nodded. "Power always attracts opposition. The question is, how do we deal with it?" Leora, the head of the diplomatic corps, spoke up, We need to show the galaxy that we are not conquerors, but protectors. We must strengthen our alliances, ensure that our partners see the benefits of our leadership. Reeve agreed. We will increase aid to our allies, help rebuild the worlds devastated by the Krogan. We must demonstrate that our power is a force for good, not domination. As the Terran leaders continued their discussion, a message arrived from the edge of the galaxy. A new threat had emerged, one that threatened to destabilize the fragile peace that had been established. Reeve read the message, his expression hardening. "It seems we have work to do," he said, his voice resolute. "Prepare the fleet. We have another battle to fight." In the dark reaches of the galaxy, far from the influence of the Galactic Council, a new force was rising. The Krogan had been defeated, but their destruction had left a power vacuum, one that others were eager to fill. At the heart of this new power was the Variks Dominion, a ruthless empire led by the enigmatic and feared Lord Variks. Under his command, the Dominion had grown in strength, absorbing the remnants of the Krogan forces and expanding its territory. Variks, a figure shrouded in mystery, was known for his cunning and ruthlessness. His forces were loyal to a fault, driven by a desire for conquest and revenge. The defeat of the Krogan had been a blow, but it had also presented an opportunity. "Humanity has shown its strength," Variks said, his voice cold and calculating. "But they have also shown their weakness. They fight with honor, with rules. We will exploit that, use it against them." His generals, a mix of species loyal to the Dominion, nodded in agreement. They had seen the reports of the Terran fleet's power, but they were undeterred. They had their own strengths, their own weapons, and they were prepared to use them. "Prepare the fleets," Variks ordered. "We will strike at the heart of the Terran Empire, show them that their newfound power will not go unchallenged." As the Dominion's forces prepared for war, the galaxy stood on the brink of a new conflict, one that would test the strength and resolve of humanity and its allies. The Terran Empire had risen to power, but now it faced a challenge unlike any it had encountered before. The Variks Dominion moved with a precision and speed that took the galaxy by surprise. Their fleets, dark and ominous, emerged from hyperspace at the edge of Terran space, targeting key outposts and colonies. Admiral Reeve received the reports with a grim expression. "The Dominion has declared war," he said, addressing the assembled military commanders. "They've struck at our borders, attacking our colonies. We must respond, and we must do so decisively." Commander Ward, always quick to action, stood ready. "Our fleets are prepared, Admiral. We can strike back, push them out of our space." Reeve nodded. "We will engage them, but we must be strategic. The Dominion is powerful, and they are prepared for a prolonged conflict. We need to outmaneuver them, use our strengths to our advantage." As the Terran fleet mobilized, Reeve knew that this war would not be like the battle against the Krogan. The Dominion was a different kind of enemy, one that would not be easily defeated. They were cunning, ruthless, and unafraid to use any means necessary to achieve their goals. But Reeve was confident. Humanity had faced challenges before, and they had always emerged stronger. The Terran Empire would not be defeated, not while he still drew breath. As the fleet moved into position, Reeve looked out at the stars, a steely determination in his eyes. The galaxy was a dangerous place, but humanity had found its place in it. They would fight, they would endure, and they would prevail. The first major engagement between the Terran Empire and the Variks Dominion took place over the planet of New Terra, a thriving colony on the edge of Terran space. The Dominion forces, led by a fleet of battle cruisers, sought to capture the planet and use it as a staging ground for further attacks. Admiral Reeve watched from the bridge of the TSV Vanguard as the Terran fleet moved into position. "All ships, engage the enemy," he ordered, his voice steady. The battle was fierce, the space around New Terra lit up with the fire of weapons and the flash of explosions. The Terran ships fought with precision, their coordinated strikes taking a heavy toll on the Dominion forces. But the Dominion was prepared, their ships heavily armed, and their tactics ruthless. The battle raged on, neither side willing to give ground. On the surface of New Terra, the citizens watched the battle unfold, their fate hanging in the balance. They had seen the devastation the Krogan had wrought, and they feared that the Dominion would bring even greater destruction. As the battle reached its peak, Reeve made a bold move. "All ships, focus fire on the lead Dominion battlecruiser," he commanded. "We take out their flagship. We take out their command." The Terran ships responded, their weapons converging on the massive Dominion vessel. The flagship shuddered under the assault, its shields failing, and its hull breached. With a final devastating barrage, the Dominion flagship exploded, a bright flash of light that marked the turning point of the battle. The remaining Dominion ships, leaderless and disorganized, began to retreat. The Terran fleet pursued, driving them out of Terran space. The battle was won, but Reeve knew that the war was far from over. The Varric's Dominion had been dealt a blow, but they were far from defeated. The Terran Empire had proven its strength once again, but the cost of victory was high. As Reeve looked out at the debris-strewn space around New Terra, he knew that the fight for the galaxy's future had only just begun. The victory at New Terra had shown the galaxy that the Terran Empire was a force to be reckoned with, but it had also made humanity a target. In the wake of the battle, new alliances were formed, and old rivalries resurfaced. Within the Galactic Council, factions jockeyed for power, each one seeking to gain the upper hand in the new order. Some saw the Terran Empire as a protector, others as a threat. The delicate balance of power that had existed for so long was beginning to unravel. Counselor Zira, ever the schemer, saw an opportunity in the chaos. She had not given up on her plan to undermine humanity's influence, and she knew that the Varric's Dominion would be eager for allies. Zira met with a representative of the Dominion in secret, a shadowy figure whose allegiance was clear. "The Terrans are strong," she said, "but they are not invincible. Together, we can bring them down, restore the balance." The Dominion representative nodded. "Our goals align, Counselor Zira. The Terrans have humiliated us, but they will pay for their arrogance. We will strike at the heart of their empire, and we will need your support." Zira smiled, her reptilian eyes glinting with malice. "You will have it. The Council will not stand in the way of your revenge. Humanity will learn that their actions have consequences." As the alliance between the Dominion and Zira's faction took shape, the galaxy moved closer to a new conflict, one that would test the limits of loyalty and the strength of alliances. Back on Earth, Admiral Reeve was aware of the growing tensions within the Galactic Council. Reports of secret meetings and whispered conspiracies had reached his ears, and he knew that the peace was fragile. "We have enemies within and without," Reeve said to his council of advisors. "The Varric's Dominion has not been defeated, and there are those within the council who would see us fall. We must be vigilant." Commander Ward, always a voice of caution, nodded. "We need to strengthen our alliances, ensure that our partners stand with us. If we are to face the Dominion again, we cannot do it alone." Leora, the diplomat, agreed. "We must reach out to those who have remained neutral, show them the benefits of our leadership. The galaxy is watching, and we must prove that we are worthy of their trust." As the Terran Empire prepared for the challenges ahead, Reeve knew that the path would not be easy. The victory at New Terra had shown their strength, but it had also made them a target. The galaxy was changing, and humanity was at the center of it. The choices they made now would shape the future, and Reeve was determined to see that future was one of peace and prosperity. But even as the Terran Empire worked to secure its place in the galaxy, the storm was gathering and the shadows of war loomed ever larger. The Varric's Dominion struck without warning, their fleets emerging from the darkness of space to assault the heart of the Terran Empire. The attack was swift and brutal, targeting key planets and military installations. Admiral Reeve received the reports with a grim expression. "The Dominion is here," he said, his voice steady despite the chaos. "They are striking at our core worlds. We must respond, and we must do so with everything we have." The Terran fleet mobilized, moving to intercept the Dominion forces. The skies above Earth were filled with ships, each one a testament to humanity's resolve. The battle was fierce, the Dominion forces throwing everything they had into the assault. The Terran defenders fought with a tenacity born of desperation, each one knowing that the fate of their world hung in the balance. Admiral Reeve led the defense, his strategic mind working to outmaneuver the Dominion. The battle raged on, neither side willing to give ground. In the midst of the conflict, a message arrived from the Galactic Council. Commander Kra, his voice urgent, called for a ceasefire. "We must negotiate," he pleaded. "The galaxy cannot afford this war." Reeve, his eyes fixed on the battle before him, replied, "There will be no ceasefire. Not until the Dominion is defeated. Humanity will not bow to threats, and we will not be controlled." As the battle reached its peak, Reeve knew that the outcome would determine the fate of the Terran Empire and the galaxy. The Dominion had come to conquer, but humanity would not go quietly into the night. The battle for the Terran Empire's core worlds continued, the skies filled with the fire of conflict. The Dominion forces were relentless, their ships swarming like locusts, seeking to overwhelm the Terran defenders. But Admiral Reeve had anticipated their tactics. The Terran fleet, well coordinated and disciplined, held the line, their weapons cutting through the Dominion ships with deadly precision. "We have to break their momentum," Reeve said, his eyes fixed on the tactical display. "Target their command ships. Without leadership, their forces will falter." The Terran ships responded, focusing their fire on the Dominion's command vessels. The first to fall was a massive battlecruiser, its hull breached by a concentrated barrage. As the command ship exploded, the Dominion fleet hesitated, their formations breaking. Reeve seized the moment. "All ships, advance," he ordered. "Push them back." The Terran fleet surged forward, their advance unstoppable. The Dominion ships, leaderless and disorganized, began to retreat, their assault turning into a rout. As the last of the Dominion ships fled into the darkness of space, a cheer went up from the Terran forces. The battle was won, but the war was far from over. Reeve knew that the Dominion would return, stronger and more determined than ever. But for now, humanity had shown its strength, its resilience. They had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. The galaxy watched, and the message was clear. Humanity would not be defeated. The Terran Empire would stand, and it would fight for its place among the stars. The victory over the Varix Dominion was a moment of triumph for the Terran Empire, but it came at a cost. The core worlds had been scarred by the battle, their skies filled with the debris of war. The losses were heavy, and the toll on the people was profound. Admiral Reeve stood on the bridge of the *TSV Vanguard*, his eyes on the ruins of the battle. "We have won a great victory," he said to his officers, "but we must not forget the price we have paid." Commander Ward nodded, her expression somber. "The Dominion will return, and we must be ready. We cannot let our guard down," Reeve agreed. "We will rebuild, we will strengthen our defenses, and we will prepare for the challenges ahead. The galaxy is a dangerous place, but humanity has proven that it is a force to be reckoned with." As the Terran Empire began the long process of rebuilding, Reeve knew that the fight was not over. The galaxy was in turmoil, and the future was uncertain. But humanity had faced the darkness and had emerged stronger. They had shown the galaxy that they were not afraid, that they would fight for their place among the stars. The war was far from over, but the Terran Empire was ready. They would face whatever came next, and they would do so with the strength and resolve that had carried them this far. The galaxy was watching, and humanity was ready to lead. The galaxy was changing, the old order giving way to a new era. The Terran Empire had proven its strength, and its influence was spreading. The victory over the Varix Dominion had solidified humanity's place among the stars, but it had also made them a target. Admiral Reeve stood before the Galactic Council, his presence commanding. "The Terran Empire seeks not to dominate, but to lead," he said, his voice strong. "We will work with the Council, we will build alliances, and we will ensure the safety and prosperity of all our worlds." The Council, once skeptical of humanity's intentions, now listened with respect. The events of the past had shown them that the galaxy was a dangerous place, and they needed strong allies. Commander Kra, representing the Council, nodded. "The Council accepts the Terran Empire's leadership. Together, we will build a future of peace and prosperity." Reeve nodded, knowing that the path ahead would not be easy. The galaxy was a complex web of alliances and rivalries, and navigating it would require skill and diplomacy. But humanity had proven that it was up to the task. They had faced the darkness and had emerged stronger. They had shown the galaxy that they were not afraid, that they would fight for their place among the stars. As the meeting ended, Reeve looked out at the gathered representatives, a sense of determination filling him. The galaxy was changing, and humanity was at the center of it. The future was uncertain, but Reeve knew that humanity would face it with strength, with resolve, and with the hope of a better tomorrow. The stars were theirs, and they would shape the destiny of the galaxy. Years passed, and the Terran Empire grew in strength and influence. The galaxy had changed, the old rivalries giving way to new alliances. Humanity had proven its strength, its resilience, and its determination to build a future of peace and prosperity. Admiral Reeve, now an elder statesman, watched as the next generation took the reins of leadership. The galaxy was still a dangerous place, but it was also a place of hope, of possibilities. The legacy of the Terran Empire was one of strength, of unity, of a people who had faced the darkness and had emerged victorious. The stars were their home, and they would protect it. They would lead with honor, with justice, and with the knowledge that the future was theirs to shape. The galaxy watched, and the message was clear. Humanity was here to stay. The end.